Joining me now to discuss more are contributors, former Democratic Congressman for New York, Joe Crowley, also former Republican Congressman for Georgia, Tom Graves. Joe, let's start with you. Kevin McCarthy, you just heard what Jay had to say up on the Hill. Will Trump's endorsement, you think, in his bid for the Speaker help or hurt him, in your opinion, at this point?
Well, I think after this Tuesday's results, I continue to say that Donald Trump is the biggest loser in the United States right now. I think anything he touches can turn to dust. And for Kevin's sake, if he's thinking that way, I certainly don't think he wants that endorsement right now. I really don't.
Tom, what's your take?
I think, Leader McCarthy seeks the entire support of the Republican conference, as well as whether those that are Trump supporters or those that are not. In fact, the conference is very diverse. You're about to learn that as we go into the next week. The story is this. Next week, Republicans meet to elect their leadership team. So that's when it all begins. And so I think you'll see Kevin McCarthy will have the support of the conference, and he'll be the Speaker nominee.
So, Tom, Marjorie Taylor Greene has already met with McCarthy ahead of his expected run for Speaker. She represents your old district, Georgia 14. What do you make of her role the next 2 years?
Well, as you know, and I think everyone knows that she is a very vocal person. She expresses herself. She expresses the district that I represented. And so I think she will have a very active role as the Republicans look forward. I mean, she has been the target of Democrats over the last 2 years, removed from her committees. They attempted to make her ineffective. And so I think now she's going to look to restore her opportunities on committees to represent the district that I live in. And I'm certain she'll do well.
So, Joe, Kathy Hochul becoming the first woman elected governor in New York, winning in the race against Republican Lee Zeldin, but it was still a tighter race than a lot of people predicted. We also saw Republicans do pretty well in a lot of House races in New York. Why do you think things were so close this time around?
Things were so close this time around because of a number of things. One, redistricting did not work in favor of Democrats in New York State, and that was really caught up in the courts. But really, what you saw there, I think, was Kathy Hochul certainly did enough to win her election, which is very, very important. But at the same time, in those upstate and those Long Island districts where we saw those losses, Lee Zeldin in that message, I think, did break through on crime and on the issue of inflation. And so I do think that in that respect, it really is surprising. One of the big surprises, besides Donald Trump being a big loser, was that the road to the capturing of the House representatives by Republicans may very well be through New York State. And that is incredibly surprising and depressing, to tell you the truth as well. But I do think those seats will come back in 2 years.
Tom, the Georgia Senate race, as you know, headed for a runoff now. How do you think things are going to play out, and what impact could a Trump presidential run have on that race?
I'm not certain that has an impact on the race, but there's one thing about Herschel Walker, and that is he's good at getting over the goal line, especially against a strong defense. And, his campaign would tell you today that they far exceeded their expectations. I mean, they're running against a sitting U.S. senator who has served for 2 years. And I know if you're an incumbent that when you're below 50% in your first reelect, that is not a good sign. And so going into the next 4 weeks, I imagine you're going to see Herschel Walker is going to be in a very strong position and will likely be the next senator from the state of Georgia.
All right, Joe, let me take it back to Trump for a second, because Biden alluded to a 2024 run during a press conference yesterday, and we do expect similar announcement from former President Trump. So what factors would be in play here if Biden and Trump face off again? And I guess it's kind of hard to predict, right? But you never know what can happen. But your thoughts?
Well, as the president said yesterday, that he first would like to see that the two, both DeSantis and Trump, go at it, or any other Republicans go at it in their primary as well. I think Trump has been significantly weakened here, and so that's the first factor. But Biden has already beaten Trump once, and I'd say the same thing for Warnock. He's already won that seat in Georgia once before already. So especially during the same circumstances. So I do think if Trump does run and it becomes a standard bearer for the Republicans, I think Biden's chances are much, much more improved now after Tuesday's results.
All right, Joe Crowley, Tom Graves, gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll be talking again for sure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.